Okay, good morning and welcome to this TA session. My name is Kirsten Bayer with the Illinois Center for Specialized Professional Support at Illinois State University, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. And today's topic for the TA session is work-based learning with our presenter, Jennifer Phillips. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we get started with Jennifer today. As a reminder, all participants on the call are in listen-only mode and cannot unmute themselves. If you have questions as the webinar proceeds, please post those in the chat or the Q&A session, and we will address those at the end during a live Q&A session with our presenter, Jennifer. A reminder that this webinar is being recorded and the presentation slides will be posted in the chat momentarily if you would like to download those and follow along. But the presentation slides and the recording will also be up on the Illinois WorkNet website within 48 hours of this live session, so you can access the recording then if you need to re-access it again or share it out in any way. And then in an effort to be as accessible as possible, this webinar will be offering closed captioning on the recorded version on the YouTube. So if you do need closed captioning capabilities, please feel free to access those on the recording. Unfortunately, we were not able to offer them today live to you. But then a reminder, if you have faulty internet connection or you would prefer to call in, please feel free to do so using the phone number in your original registration email. And with that, I'm going to hand off to our presenter today, Jennifer Phillips. Jen?
Hi, good morning. I'm Jennifer Phillips. I'm a colleague of Kirsten's at the Illinois Center for Specialized Professional Support, and I will be your presenter today on work-based learning. So just want to cover the agenda today. This session will be a high-level overview of work-based learning with an emphasis on pointing you in the right directions if you want to learn more as you prepare your youth career pathways proposal. So today I'm going to define work-based learning. I'm going to share some information about the range of opportunities for work-based learning. We're going to shine a spotlight on apprenticeships as a leading program strategy for work-based learning and how you could learn more. So almost every slide has a source link on it where you can do a deeper dive to learn more. And there will also be time at the end for questions. But before I start, I wanted to mention the session about career development experiences that was held on Monday. Ed Systems presented on their toolkit, and there's a link here, and I'll share a little bit more during my presentation as well. Feel free to send chat questions as we go, and we may take them during the presentation or at the end, but happy to do either way. So what is work-based learning? So today it's more important than ever to prepare students with the skills that they need for careers that fuel our local economies. This is really complex work. It's beyond the ability of the K-12 system and higher ed and adult education or workforce investments to do alone. This is something that is really a kind of a cross-training effort of all of those systems. So through strategic industry partnerships, educators and employers can align academics and work-based learning experiences with jobs in demand in their states, with an emphasis on the results being improving individual lives, increasing the prosperity in state economies, and just overall economic competitiveness. There are three equal benefits of work-based learning. There are benefits to students. Work-based learning can help students improve it academically. It helps them learn how things that they learn in the classroom are connected to the real world. And it's also a great way to explore career options. There are benefits to schools. So work-based learning can improve student motivation, attendance, and graduation rates. It also can improve the school's relationship with its local community. And there are benefits to employers. So work-based learning helps employers reduce their recruitment and training costs. It also helps them hire better prepared employees who really understand the expectations of the workplace. If you wanted to do the deeper dive, I'm kind of circling, the link is in your PDF packet. It's taking a while to get to the next slide. Sorry about that. So work-based learning, just as I was saying before, it's a joint effort of multiple different stakeholder groups. But work-based learning federally spans across two federal agencies, the U.S. Department of Labor and the U.S. Department of Education. This slide is the U.S. DOL interpretation, and the next couple slides I'm going to share the U.S. Department of Education interpretation. There are subtle differences, but mostly they're promoting the same ideas. So career preparation and work-based learning experiences are really essential to develop the aspirations and for young people to make informed choices about careers. Those experiences require collaborations with other organizations other than workforce development systems. And that's where the partnerships with K-12 and with adult education and with employers themselves come in. So youth really need to have the information on career options, including understanding the role that employment plays in economic self-sufficiency and the motivation to build those skills, explore careers, and seek employment. It also is about self-exploration skills that enable those youth to identify interests, skills, and values. The career exploration skills enable youth to identify how various career options match their own interests and work preferences. And it allows them to have the ability to make informed choices about their long-term career interests, also about career-specific work skills and soft skills, such as such as communication, leadership, decision-making, and conflict management skills. And finally, career planning and management skills, including the academic planning and sort of the connections to the post-secondary system and beyond. So that is this is the U.S. Department of Labor interpretation of work-based learning. So now I'm going to kind of move over to the U.S. Department of Ed interpretation. You're going to see there's lots of overlap, but I thought it was helpful to show both sides of the house here. So on the U.S. Department of Ed side, the comprehensive components of work-based learning, they have kind of this three-part framework where you've got the alignment of classroom and workplace learning. You've got the application of academic, technical, and employability skills in a work setting. And then you've got this third component of support from classroom or workplace mentors. So just kind of doing a little bit of a deeper dive on those three components. That first component is about aligning classroom and workplace learning. This is where you want to help meet those industry demands for a more skilled workforce by providing students an opportunity to really explore and gain experience in all aspects of that industry, to map the academic content to authentic workplace tasks. That's where I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the work that Ed Systems has done, really allowing students to reflect on their learning process and experience, and requiring training for instructors on how to integrate those work-based learning experiences into that curriculum and instruction. And that second component about applying the technical, academic, and employability skills in a bundle in a workplace setting is really focused on the rigorous academic and employability skill requirements of that particular job, and including those in-depth, hands-on experiences. And under COVID right now, there are many states and localities that are using virtual or simulated methods using either alternative reality, AR, or virtual reality training experiences that are immersive in nature to get that work experience in a COVID environment. And then finally, that support element of support from classroom or workplace mentors. I'm not going to, in the interest of time, not going to go through all of this, but the notion here is that that is the third cog in the wheel to support young people as they're moving into these work-based learning experiences, allowing them to develop relationships not only with their teachers, but also with industry and community professionals in a certain field. And I can see there's some chats. Let's see, Kirsten. Oh, they're not questions. Okay. Kirsten, if you wouldn't mind, if there's anything that pops up in the chat that's a question, just stop me.
Sounds good.
All right, so this is where I'm going to sort of point the audience to some other resources on work-based learning. Jobs for the Future. Some of you on this call may already know of this organization. It's a national Boston-based organization, but they have some of the best resources in the field nationally on work-based learning and on apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships and youth apprenticeships. So I just wanted to call this out. Again, all these slides have the links to direct you in the right direction. And just a few other things that I wanted to point out on the Jobs for the Future website. This is, you're going to see a lot of diagrams today that look kind of similar, different organizations' interpretations, but the spectrum of work-based learning really starts with this notion of career exploration. It leads to like career exposure, career engagement, where internships and pre-apprenticeship come in, and then sort of the real hands-on work-based learning in terms of on-the-job training or apprenticeship. Again, there's deeper information about other, including case studies from other programs in other states at the link below. And the final thing that I wanted to share about Jobs for the Future is that they have if you're new to the work-based learning arena or the apprenticeship space, and you're thinking about submitting a proposal for this NOFO, there's a terrific glossary of terms. A lot of the terms can be kind of confusing in this space, and this link will take you right to a really great glossary of terms. Okay, so going from the national to the Illinois examples, many of you may already know about Illinois' Career Pathways Dictionary. The link is right there at the bottom. This is something that has been a joint effort of multiple different stakeholder agencies and institutions in Illinois. And I believe that this is a link that the Youth Career Pathways NOFO prominently points applicants to. So it's really worth taking a look at some of the definitions in this document. The visual that I have up on the screen is essentially, another schematic of what I've been talking about from the beginning, merging the USDOL and the Department of Education, but, career awareness, career exploration, having some kind of challenge, like a team-based challenge, a career development experience. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, because that's what Ed Systems presented on Monday. And then really moving into those work-based learning experiences themselves in the pre-apprenticeship, youth apprenticeship, and apprenticeship. So on Monday, Ed Systems presented a technical assistance session on their career development experience toolkit. So there's a definition in the Illinois Career Pathways Dictionary of career development experience. Ed Systems presented on this on Monday, and I highly encourage people that are interested in doing a work-based learning strategy for their application, if you missed Monday, to go back and take a look at the slides or the video, because this is an essential building block for developing a work-based learning strategy. Ed Systems also hosts a work-based learning innovation network, where they're continuously doing terrific webinar virtual events and have a number of different resources to share. So if you're interested in moving in this direction with your proposal, strongly encourage you to check out this network, especially some of the organizations that are already members are all listed there. So if there's someone in your region that you want to connect with, it's easy to do this on their website. And again, it's down below. So now I'm going to turn more towards the WIOA youth vision and the types of work-based learning experiences. This portion of the presentation, I'm sorry, it's going to be a little dry, but these are kind of the technical aspects that I think it will be helpful for you to know as you put your applications together. So what is the WIOA Title I Youth Vision? It's on the screen. I'm not going to read through it, but I am going to kind of point out that pre-apprenticeships, internships, and registered apprenticeship are definitely things that the U.S. Department of Labor is encouraging in the different granting mechanisms that they have. And if you needed more information about sort of the real nitty gritty on eligibility and things like that, the link below gets into the super specifics if you're interested. So this is also not the prettiest slide in the world, but it's important to show what the allowable expenditures are for this grant opportunity. This policy, this Illinois WIOA policy, is still in development. The number is down below. There's not a hyperlink on this slide, but most likely the NOFO page will have some more information on this coming up in the future. And I believe some of these things are already outlined in the NOFO itself. So what are some of the types of work-based learning? The three that I'm going to do more highlighting of are the three up on the top: registered apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship programs, and work experiences and internships are the three primary work-based learning experiences that fit for youth that are 16 to 24 years of age. The ones that are a little less common for youth, but aren't necessarily outside of the realm of possibility, are transitional jobs. Things like youth core programs are in that transitional job category. On the job training, this is probably more applicable when a youth is over 18 in the workforce and already connected to an employer. Customized training, same thing, probably more applicable to youth that are a little older. And then incumbent worker training, that would probably be for young people that are, have been in the workforce for a longer time and maybe closer to the 22 to 24 range. All right, just pausing to check chat. Okay. So I'm going to go through the different types, not in a huge amount of detail because you can do deeper dives if you're interested, but registered apprenticeships are employer driven. They're a learn while you earn model. They combine on the job training with job related instruction and curricula that is tied to the attainment of an industry recognized skills standard or credential. That on-the-job training is provided by the employer who hires the apprentice, although some employers also provide job-related instruction on site. So those WIOA funds can be used to support placing participants in both classroom and the OJT portions of the program. And the WIOA funds can be used to provide supportive services to participants to help them succeed in a registered apprenticeship program. And then for each of these, the target populations are listed. And the resource for this is a work-based learning USDOL document on the bottom. So pre-apprenticeships are the precursor to an apprenticeship program. This is more sort of getting a young person ready for moving into an apprenticeship program. That training and curriculum is again aligned with the skills that the employer needs. A lot of times there can be math or reading tests to get into an apprenticeship program that the pre-apprenticeship program can be focusing on. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is a population for younger people or people with more barriers to getting into an apprenticeship directly. So work experiences and internships. A work experience internship, it's a planned, structured experience. It takes place in a workplace for a limited amount of time. The work experiences and internships can be paid or unpaid. They're for youth, just going into the specifics here, that's where pre-apprenticeships can also sort of be counted as a work experience or an internship. Summer employment is a possibility here, doing internships or job shadowing, and then actual on-the-job training. So I'm not going to go too far into these, but the next couple slides give a little bit more detail on the target populations for transitional jobs, for on-the-job training or OJT, for customized training, which is usually done by an employer themselves. And then incumbent worker training. And incumbent worker training is basically training that's designed to meet the needs of an employer or group of employers that are trying to avert layoffs or kind of upskill their employees for transitions in their own industries. So we're going to pause for a second and just do a quick, I'm going to pass the controls back to Kirsten because she has better sound than I do to take a look at a little video on how to launch a youth apprenticeship program.
To launch a youth apprenticeship.
1 second, I apologize. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Well, it was working.
Youth apprenticeship programs across the nation enrich students, power business, and strengthen community. Let's look at what it takes to launch a youth apprenticeship program. Phase 1, create an advisory council. The advisory council consists of key stakeholders such as educators, administrators, community college partners, and business executives. The advisory council maps pathways for students to gain valuable experience, attain a post-secondary credential, and fill workforce gaps. Phase 2, assemble and implement. Set criteria for classroom instruction, on-the-job training, and credentials. Resolve program logistics. Now, engage students. The Youth Apprenticeship Program is in action, but it is a continuous process of improvement. Phase 3, improve and expand. Document performance, evaluate results, and coordinate upgrades to the program. As the program demonstrates success, expand the program to include more students and create more opportunities in a diversity of fields. Youth apprenticeships work. Launch a youth apprenticeship program.
All right, I'm going to take the screen back. Oops. Make sure it's not on here. Okay. Kirsten, can you see my screen? Is my screen back up?
Yes, it is.
It's not wanting to. There we go. All right. So I just want to quickly run through some of the 5 bedrock components of apprenticeship. I'm sorry to be redundant, but just wanting to make sure that we're really clear that a paid job is essential piece of this, and then the work-based learning experience that's structured on the job learning, mentorship, as I was pointing out earlier, whether that's on the academic side or on the employer side. This component of the classroom learning that's often connected to college credit, and then gaining this portable national recognized credential, this industry recognized credential. So these are the 5 core elements of apprenticeship. And I'm going to do a quick, I'm going to go a little live after a couple of these slides, but there are some resources like the Jobs for the Future site and like Ed Systems that can be really instructive to you as you're putting your proposals together. So the US Department of Labor's Apprenticeship.gov site has just a wealth of resources. They have, I'm just going to do kind of a quick tour, but if you go to either the educator section or the resource section and you put youth in your search, you will get a number of different resources on youth apprenticeship. This fact sheet is one of them. I'm just gonna see if I can open it live here for you. It was open before. I'm not sure why it's not working. I'll show it in just a second, but this is a youth apprenticeship fact sheet that might be really helpful. I think it's stuck on this link. Okay. And then some of the benefits of youth apprenticeship, as you're putting your proposal together, these are things that are kind of pre-packaged, ready to go for you, but thinking about satisfying the labor market needs and sort of the talent pipeline in your area, addressing skills matching, how to do that career development experience and like that career exploration with young people and matching them up to labor market demands in your area, aligning the academic and the technical standards in both high schools and in post-secondary environments with the industry recognized credentials and certificates, and then providing really strong linkages to apprenticeship programs in the community. So those are some of the key benefits to youth apprenticeship programs. Again, the hyperlink is down here. The government, the Apprenticeship.gov site has a terrific toolkit. Don't have a huge amount of time to kind of go into the specifics here, but the link is here. It really walks you through all the steps that were kind of covered in the video in a lot more depth. As you can see, it has links to case studies and videos, some ideas about district level planning if you're a school district who's on the call today, and then sort of a literature review if you want to do a deeper dive. This is, I just find some of these resources really fun if anybody's on the phone from a school district today. But Scholastic has really gotten behind work-based learning and apprenticeships. And the Apprenticeship.gov has like a whole section of their website with some of the Scholastic information that's specifically geared towards recruiting young people into work-based learning experiences. And finally, I don't think we have time today to go through all these videos, but if you want to learn more about some of the other programs around the country, these videos are on that Resource Hub website. So now I'm going to go switch from the USDOL side to the Illinois specific side. There is a website in Illinois that's called apprenticeshipil.com. It is right here. And if I switch my screen, I think I can, oops, got the live link here. Oh, and of course it doesn't like it today. Okay, that's very strange. Anyway, while I'm here on the live part, I'll just show you, this is apprenticeship.gov. So if you're on the main page, you can drop down and get some tools for career seekers. Here are the tools for employers, tools for educators. The resources are really incredible. And then if you want to go deeper, sorry, I need to drink water, into the resource hub. This is what I was mentioning. If you type in youth, it will take you right to a number of the different resources that I showed you on the slides. Let's see if Illinois' site wants to work right now. Of course, it's doing that right now. No, okay. Well, I encourage you to try to get on Illinois, apprenticeshipillinois.com, but I'll go through a couple of the screenshots of what it looks like. So when you're on that website, there are 4 different choices of where you can go. Information about how to become an apprentice. This tab is a little bit more employer focused, like hiring an apprentice. You want to talk to someone about starting an apprenticeship in your area. And then there's a resource tab. I'm sorry, I can't show it to you in real time right now. I am going to see if I can do this video real quick that I have lined up on apprenticeships in Illinois.
We just can't hear it, Jen.
Really? That's, do you mind if I give you this link again in the chat?
No, that's fine.
All right, let me chat it to you really quick. Sorry, folks, my volume doesn't work as well. While Kirsten's pulling that up, I'm just going to go through a couple other slides about Illinois. Kirsten, just let me know when you're ready and I'll stop sharing.
I'm ready now.
You're ready. Okay, sounds good. I'll stop sharing. Perfect. Thanks, Kirsten. So now what's on the screen right now? Let's see, Kirsten, can you see the Illinois map slide?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so these are the current the USDOL apprenticeship expansion grantees in Illinois. So this is on the DCEO side of apprenticeship. And the navigators, I'm going to talk about them in just a minute. The navigator's role in apprenticeship in the DCO side of things is to work with employers who are interested in developing apprenticeship programs. Not every EDR, economic development region in Illinois, is covered right now, but that is a goal of the Department of Commerce to kind of ramp up in that area, and I'll talk about that in a minute. The intermediaries are the actual apprenticeship programs themselves. Some of you may be on this call who are actually running these type of apprenticeship programs, but this is on the apprenticeship.illinois.com website. You can get more information about any of these, especially if you're in one of these regions and want to learn more. And then in terms of district-specific models, there are many, and I'm calling one out in particular. District 214 is the Arlington Heights kind of area. Their website is here, but I'm using them as an example just because I think it's a very interesting and kind of clear example of how a school district is partnering with these different post-secondary institutions and employers, obviously, in their region to develop those youth apprenticeships that are in the high school space. So a minute ago, I was talking about apprenticeship navigators, right? So navigators are those people in the economic development region areas who are working with employers every day to promote and start apprenticeship programs, with specific industries or employers. I'm sorry that the website wasn't working, but there are more people under these people. But you can click on the Apprenticeship Illinois site, go to the Navigator page and get the exact contact information for the person in your economic development region. As you're thinking about putting a proposal together, it'd probably be a good idea to touch base with the person in your region. And then I wanted to, this is maybe a little bit in the weeds, but as you're thinking about, if you're thinking about doing a work-based learning apprenticeship focused strategy in your proposal, there was a tax credit that was passed last year. It started last January. It's an Illinois apprenticeship education expense tax credit. It's on the employer side, but this is kind of a sweetener to employers where employers can get a credit up to $3,500 per apprentice that covers some of the educational expenses related to the apprenticeship. So this is on the DCEO website. Link is down below. And then just a couple other pieces of information about the eligibility, who to contact, right? So here is the USDOL Region 5 contact. If you have an employer that might be interested in being your partner on starting a program, and then some of the other information. And as I mentioned, the qualified expenses are mostly on the educational side. And there's a certification process. It does not take long, but the forms are hyperlinked down below. And then the final two things I wanted to say before we open it up to any questions are there are apprenticeship programs not only in the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, but also on the Illinois Department of Employment Security side. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned those programs. So there's some, the hyperlinks are down below, and just another resource for getting information about apprenticeships in Illinois. And then the other main state institutional partner on apprenticeships is the Illinois Community College Board. They have a very specific program that they're running with a grant from the US Department of Labor for customized apprenticeship programming in the information technology space. The participating colleges are listed here, and the website is down below. This slide is just some other additional hyperlinks for more information as you're putting your applications together. And finally, just the NOFO contact information is Tara Scott, and her information is below. And at that, I'm going to stop and see if anyone has any questions. I know we have a small audience today, but curious if anyone has any questions.
I don't see any in the chat.
I don't see anything in the chat.
Jen, but we'll give them a couple minutes if they can think of anything that they would like to ask. And in those couple minutes, I just want to reiterate that this session was recorded. So if you need to reaccess it, you can do so through the NOFA website that was put in the chat. It's on the Illinois WorkNet website, and it's just the notice of funding opportunity. You can search that on the Illinois WorkNet website if you can't find it, and it should come right up with all of the TA sessions, slides, and recordings. This recording will be live within 48 hours. So give us until Monday to get it up for you to watch or share out if need be. And then also, if you have any other questions, you can contact Tara, but you can also contact through the Illinois WorkNet. I'm blanking. What's that called, Jen? They can like submit a question, right? Through WorkNet. I think you're on mute. I think you're showing me.
And I think I'll just pull it up in real time for people. So this is the Illinois WorkNet main page. Under notice of funding opportunities, takes you right to that career pathway page where you probably registered for this webinar. And the FAQ that Kirsten is talking about is kind of mid-page on your right.
Awesome.
And here are all of the links to recordings that are happening next week. So individual training accounts, performance measures, and sustainability plans are upcoming next week. And then all of the sessions that have happened in the past, you've got a link to both the slides and the recording. And I'll just give another shout out again that the Career Development Experience Toolkit was on Monday, and the slides and the recording for the Ed Systems presentation are right here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen.
You bet.
So with that, I don't see anything in the chat. So feel free to utilize those resources if you do think of any questions after this session. And with that, I think I'm just going to close this out. Thanks, Jen. And thank you everyone who attended this morning. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Kirsten. Thanks, everyone. Bye.